Hey, hello everyone. This is the Daniels, and we're back today. So I saw a story online. I just want to read and share our opinions. Then also you share your opinion on the comments. So there was this lady that wrote to Joro Lumofi on Instagram, and it's talking about how a past is coming to haunt her. Please subscribe to this channel. The story is that she met her fiance 4 years ago. They've done their introduction. They're planning to get married in February next year, but our past is getting to her, and what is it? She says she has been loyal and faithful to this guy. So in these 4 years, she has not cheated on him. But now she met a friend during our introduction. But she said several years ago, before the time, that she was dealing with depression, sadness, and emptiness. And she began to do some terrible stuff like threesomes. She did threesomes with two guys. She even made a tape, as in they did a video, but she said, but they deleted it. She said she slept with a lot of men, and she said and that was the best way for her to deal with the depression. And she said, I was also using all this thing to dull my pain. So she was using to dull her pain. She said she had a public incident where a girl brought friends to beat her because she was sleeping with her husband. But she said the husband never told her that she was married. But anyway, now at her introduction, a guy walked up to her and told her, hey, do you know me? She couldn't recognize the guy, but later she saw the guy talking with her fiancé. He said that evening, that was the beginning, that's where our issue started. So it's been 2 months now. The fiancé has not been talking to her. And when they talk, the few times they talk, the fiancé was like, she's thinking about their future. Now, so what she said was that this guy went and downloaded her past to her, and she won't lie. She said she did a lot of things, and she told him the full truth. When the fiancé asked her, she still told him the full truth. She couldn't deny it because she felt if she denies it, there'll be some evidence. Some people will bring up some things, and so she had to tell him. So now she's asking the question that should she give him time? She's still wearing the wedding ring. Now he hardly picks his calls. Now even the wedding planner has been calling her. I'm calling him, the husband to be, and he's not even picking his call. So the question I want to ask you is this: should she move on? Should she go and return the ring and just move on? Or should she be patient and be begging him? Let me hear from you. What do you think from a woman's perspective?
Okay, from a woman's perspective, there are things that she ought to have done differently. So number one, I'm a strong believer of the fact that you shouldn't hide anything from the person you're about to get married to. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you should now do too much information. That's TMI. But you need to allow the person that you're getting married to know exactly what your past has been like. Mm-hmm. There was a lady that reached out to me some days ago, and she had similar experience, not exactly like this, but in her own case, she had an abortion in the past, and she's about to get married. Their wedding is happening in a couple of months, and she asked me the same question: should she tell the guy, because she's not sure of the guy's reaction. Her friends told her that, see, your past is your past, he doesn't need to know and everything, just move on. But I told her, I said, the thing about past is that you never know when it comes knocking on the door. You True. Never know. So let him know. And if the guy is really supposed to be for you, if that is the person for you, he will be able to move past it. That's my own belief, because I had a past too, and my husband knew. I mean, which past? Now do you have to? Don't be down.
No. I'm just surprised, Sha. Yeah,
No,
continue. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So, because I have a past too, and my husband, he knew what needed to be known and all of that, and we moved past it. It wasn't even an issue. I even remember then, they were just like, it's not an issue, like big a deal. I'm sure you can't even remember right now.
I feel remember.
So I told her, I said, see, you need to let him know. And she called me back like 2 weeks after, and she was just thanking me that that was one of the best decisions ever. She told him, okay. And the guy forgave. The guy didn't make it an issue. It didn't affect anything.
Wait, when did she tell him? Just before they are married?
They've not gotten married. They are getting married in a couple of months. So the point is that she has told the guy now. The guy did not change his mind. Nothing. Life is moving on. So she feels like a weight off her chest. Yeah. So bringing it to the context of this lady, yes, you should have. But now that you haven't, and he seems to have found out, and he's reacting like this, because it's important that you enter marriage knowing that this person has your back. And if you cannot 100% beat your chest and say, this guy, with everything he knows, he has my back, I would not even encourage that you continue I don't even encourage you to say you are continually begging. You've already apologized, all of that. So I'm not going to encourage that you move on.
Okay, so for me, first of all, I would say that this is just a simple case of action and consequences. I know that it's our past, and a lot of people say, "But it's your past, it's your past." But I think we also now realize that, yeah, some things are in your past, but a lot of times, you see, the past can always bite you in the
True.
future. So I'm saying this to ladies and guys that see, you can't just keep going with this narrative that is my life, is my body, do whatever makes you happy. Now, of course, our case seemed a bit different. She said she was going through depression and she had to do those things. But first of all, I will say that if you're going through depression, if you're going through life situation,
Yeah, people you
rather
can talk
than
to.
deal with it through those things, come on, there are better ways. Speak to someone, open up, go through
Yeah.
therapy, do what you need to do. Using sex and all those other vices like alcohol and all those things is not a good way at all to deal with those things.
In fact, what it does is that it only suppresses the feeling temporarily.
True.
That's the truth. In fact, there's something I call it vulnerability sessions with singles, where a single person, whether lady or guy, we have conversations, things that, for the guys, I tend to refer them to my husband, but for the ladies, we go deep, right? And, you say you say the things that you're having to deal with and stuff like that, and we walk towards, building a transformed life. Do you understand? And one of the things I've noticed is that, look, the things that you think will suppress that feeling, will help you deal with that feeling, it's only going to suppress it. By the next day, it's like a kick. You need a kick again. You need something to like get you moving. But you can actually get off that and get on a journey of transformation where no longer will you be in that state of looking for a kick, but you know exactly what you need to do. That will rather push your life forward. Because truth be told, life is all about consequences. What you're doing today is the consequences of it is going to show up tomorrow. That's the truth. The decisions you're making today, all right, it's going to show up tomorrow. And also, let's also not blame the guy. I mean, the things she shared, they are weighty, they are heavy,
weighty, yeah.
they are very heavy, they are weighty stuffs, right? And it's like you've had this image of somebody and you believe that this person is this way, and all of a sudden right now it's like somebody is coming to crash your world and tell you that what you've assumed and believed about this person is not true. So he's in a state of wondering. He's wondering, okay, am I even making the best decision? And I am a
Exactly.
proponent of, don't just rush into marriage because you have proposed to somebody. I don't believe that. If in the course of your courtship, and even after proposal, you begin to realize that, look, this marriage, I'm not sure it can work, I believe it's best you end it than for you to get into a marriage and it moves from good to bitter to worst, and both of you are in a very terrible state. Then you now have to divorce.
Yeah.
You can save yourself that energy and you can save yourself that stress.
So lastly, this is what I'm also going to say, that you see, this is the reason why when we tell people that premarital counseling is not just a prerequisite just for marriage, the way churches have made it to be that, okay, before you get married, you must do 6 weeks and everything. In fact, this is what I would tell people. The moment you're dating someone and you guys already believe that this is heading to marriage, don't wait till when you start planning your wedding.
Yeah.
Don't wait till when you've done introduction. Don't wait till when the guy has proposed to you, will you be my wife? You now receive the ring. Then you already know that you just have like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 months to the wedding. That's when you now come and do premarital counseling. Because one of the things we tell people that when you start premarital counseling a lot earlier, one of the things my wife will do for you, for example, during that session is dealing with issues like this, opening up vulnerability and everything. Now imagine you started that phase and you guys have not gone so far, and you're going to, and my wife, for example, the counselor is asking you, okay, taking those kind of sessions, and you now have to tell your spouse or the spouse at that time, your person you're dating, that, okay, I've done some terrible things, and she helps to make the communication easier. It's easier for that person to take time to deal with it, because I'll tell you, especially if it's coming from the lady to the man, most of us men, our minds work with graphic memories. We imagine things. So I'm the guy, I'm thinking, so you did this song with 2 guys. I'm trying to imagine, and the more I imagine, the more it's getting to me. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling like, do you understand? But a lady, most men do worse than ladies, but most ladies just move on. You're a guy, they just move on and the rest. But most guys not like that. So if you start your premarital counseling early enough, and you book her, for example, she will help you to manage that conversation. I know they are hard conversations. That's why a lot of ladies and men are not willing to open up. But see, that's why I say do have the premarital counseling early enough so that you can deal with those things. Then also, if you have it early enough, if there's a reason that maybe that relationship may not work, or you guys need to take a break to deal with certain things, just the way the guy is doing, it would have been easier for you to do it earlier. Now the guy is taking 2 months when the wedding plan is already going on. Wedding plan is already involved. Money has been put in place. But imagine they are doing it months ahead. The guy can take his time, deal with it, come back and say, okay, now I've dealt with it. I'm ready to move on.
So, lastly, there are 4 assessments really that I do during premarital counseling that is very important. The first one, of course, is the onboarding intake assessment, where you're like feeding me information about not just yourself, your background, your family, and specific things that you've had to go through as a person and stuff like that. The second thing is emotional baggage assessment, and that is where we bring a lot of issues like this to the table. So and of course, you cannot just hide things, because one of the things I'll tell you that, look, what you hide right now and you don't face is going to come knocking on the door tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's best to bring everything to the table. And the third one is, of course, the personality temperament assessment, because one of the things I've also realized that cause issues in marriage is lack of adaptability, inability to adapt to your spouse, because now you're realizing that, look, it's like we're not even made for each other. I'm like a square peg in a round hole, all of that, and it's not working. And of course, the fourth one is the love language test, because one of the things also that cause issues in marriage is actually a depletion in the love tank, where you feel like you're not getting
Professor.
the kind of love that you should be getting. Now, I believe that you shouldn't depend on your spouse for happiness, but I also know that a happy marriage can be an energy booster. That is the truth. When my husband makes me happy, I'm very happy. I glow. I blossom. But when he begins to
She
understand,
too, when she makes me happy, it's a other room. I am happy.
you know, so but when you understand, so
And with food also,
yes, my husband likes food. So
and other ways.
So anyway, those are the 4 assessments and once you are able to go through that, and of course understanding God's plan and purpose for marriage, and of course the spiritual aspect as well, I'm telling you, it's like you've prepared yourself for a healthy and a happy marriage. And that's all these things are resolved in these assessments. All these things are resolved, and once those things are resolved, you are able to make a more informed decision about your marriage. So
Okay, so I hope you've learned something from this. If you meet anybody like that, or you're in that kind of situation like the story we just shared, feel free to reach out to us. One of the reasons why we're doing this video is to help couples and also help people prepare for marriage. So reach out if you're still planning to get married. Do that. If you're also married and you're already having issues with your marriage and everything, feel free to reach out to us. And also, please subscribe to this channel on YouTube, on Instagram. Please subscribe and follow and do and comment also. I believe that a lot of people need to know this. Share this video and we'll be glad to do so. Thank you very, very much.
have a wonderful day.
For me, see as you fair pass me. Oh, sorry, we've not ended. Bye.